Hey everybody, it's Lynn Meyer, the HIT coach, which stands for Healing, Restoration, and Transformation. And I am coming on without a guest today, but I felt like this was the perfect time for me to actually say the reason why Men in the Car is so important. Also, to give some more backstory to maybe for those that don't know who I am, I've been in the field of mental health as a counselor for 23 years. I started off with families and chemical dependency and things like that. Then I went into children. Then I decided to go back and start working with adults. So all of that was part of something I knew I needed to do in order to be the person that I needed to be when I was a child. Okay, so for those, the backstory, my backstory of sexual abuse, growing up in a household of domestic violence, all of that affected me that I know has affected men as well, especially like my siblings and things like that. So I just want to come in and say the reason why Men Cry in the Car is very important is because I have a beautiful husband that finds me as his safe place. Um, and I do not apologize if I get emotional because I probably will today. Today is a very emotional day. I'm finding that a lot of things are happening. Within the environment and society and the household, like things like that. And I just think about like how many men don't feel safe, how many men feel like they would love to have a space or a place where they can be supported. So I'll just give you a little bit backstory of my husband. My husband has gone through a lot in his life, and he'll come on the show and he'll share that. He has gone through a lot in his life, and one day he shared to me that I was his space of refuge, solitude. He felt very heard, seen, definitely supported. He just felt safe. And I was like, dang, I wonder how many men want that. How many men do not have that, desire that, carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, especially as Black men in general, but just definitely Black men. How they show up, like, oh God, just like because they feel like they can't really show up fully simply because of the environment or the space or that just not having that where they can just share their feelings, share their thoughts, have those things. And so this wasn't something that I created on my own. Like Men Cry in the Car was nothing that created on my own. It was years of men coming to me in therapy, telling me they don't cry in front of the females in their lives. Telling me that it was very difficult for them to share, telling me like just those type of things. And I wanted to have this space for you. So as you come on, if you have any questions about anything with the podcast of like how it was we would do this, just let me know. So I just wanted to say with the podcast also, there's usually not any questions prepared because we want to have like a very organic conversation. We want it to be open and honest, candid, whatever those words you want it to be. We really just want it to flow. We want things to flow, and we find it best for things to flow when we don't have the questions. However, there may be a time that someone may come on and want questions to be asked beforehand. So again, Men Cry in the Car is a space where I know it can be, you can find community. You will be able to find that you're not alone. You will be able to understand that your feelings and thoughts and your emotions and those things are normal. Um, and then also, you will find someone like myself that will support you in a way that you will not be judged. You will be heard. And, those will listen to you. I know I'm not the only female that has been that for their brother, their father, their husband. I know I'm not, and I just want men to know that I see you. Like I know you guys are probably used to me talking about women, but I see you. And I know you need a space like this. So again, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to this channel because we will be having men from different generations. My nephew's going to come on. I think his is going to be in July. He's 17 years old, so we're going to get a perspective of a 17-year-old. We've already had a perspective of a person that has been sexually abused. That was last week. Judgment Allah. We talked about that. Kay came on and he just spoke of generation X and how he was raised and how you're not supposed to say anything. You're just supposed to be seen. So it's all of that. I'm also going to have men that identify as gay. They're going to be on. Because again, I don't want to miss any perspective of what makes a man feel like he can only cry in the car or cry away from society or his life, or and just be strong all the time. And we don't want that. And so I definitely want those that are courageous to come on and speak, courageous to come on and speak, courageous to share your story. Because please know that your story is yours, but it's for other people to hear and understand and receive. So I definitely wanted to say that. Again, like when you come on, if you have a question for me, please let me know. So yeah, and let me know also, like, what things do you think we should talk about on this podcast outside of feelings, thoughts, being in a space where you don't feel supported. Like, let me know those things that you would love to discuss. Let me know those things that you feel like that's a topic men don't want to talk about, but y'all really need to talk about it. Those things are going to be very important to this podcast, because I don't know everything. Like, I have my husband, I have my brothers, but I don't know what every man is thinking. And I want every man to be represented on this podcast. So even if you're watching now, or if you watch the replay, if you have questions for me, if you would love to be a guest, I would love to have you on. We can sit down, we can chat, we can talk about it. And because this is the space that I really want to, well, I curated this space for this, but I really want you guys to turn it into a space of being comfortable, being supported, being all the things that you needed before. I want you guys to turn this space, this podcast, into your own. I really do. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid to ask a question. Don't be afraid to come on and be a guest, because as you see, like, I'm really laid back. The conversation is going to flow. If there's anything you do not want to talk about, let's talk about it and see the reason why you don't want to talk about it. Or if it's something like completely off the table, we don't have to discuss it, because again, I don't want anyone to come on here and feel like they are being attacked, because I don't ever want you to feel like you're being attacked. I want you to know that here you are loved, you are seen, we appreciate you, you're valued, all the things that you may not hear from those in your life. So I definitely want you to know that that's the reason for this space. So any questions for those out there listening, drop them in the comment section. Like I said, share this out, because we definitely want to get more eyes on this. We definitely want people to see that this space is available for you. And that's what we want to do. Another backstory I will say, where I feel like is very important. I feel like it's important for people to have a voice. Anyone in general to have a voice. Because I think about the time that my voice was muted and I didn't speak. So I definitely want this platform, this podcast, to be a voice for men to say anything you want to say, to share whatever you want to share, and to know that your voice is needed. Like, your voice is needed. We want to hear you. Don't think that we don't want to understand what's going on in your brain, on your mind. Like, how lonely must that be for you not to share your thoughts or your feelings? And so I definitely think about that. I don't ever want you to think that you can't share that, because we want you to. And then also, just to tell you a little bit more about me and the reason why this is important for me. I know I'm not the only person that has dealt with abuse of any kind. I know I'm not the only person that has dealt with feeling ashamed, feeling guilt, feeling inadequate, insecure, worthless, hopeless, didn't like myself, didn't love myself. I know I'm not the only one, but just think about the men that have to keep that within themselves. I can only imagine, because we know that females are, it's more received, let me say that, it's more received for females to show their emotions, right? We're okay with females showing their emotions, but what we have to get okay with and normalize are men showing up and saying, hey, I need some help. Hey, I feel weak. Hey, like whatever that is, I'm scared. Outside of anger, because for some reason, like, we accept anger from everyone, especially from men. So we really want to be able to just show that this space and this place is for you, like for you. Y'all remember like those clubs back in the day, like the country clubs or whatever, and you have to be a certain status, or there's a certain requirement. Well, this is that. This is for men. And that's the only requirement that you need here, because every man is welcome. Every man is welcome. And I want you to know that. I don't know if it's like that in other races or cultures or whatever, but it's extremely hard for Black and brown men to share their feelings. And I want you to know that you're safe here. So I know I keep saying that, but repetition is very important. It's very important. And hopefully, the more that you come and you see this podcast, you will understand the words that I'm saying are true. What I have to say to you, when I say I support you, when I see you, when I'm listening to you, are all true. They are all true. So, again, any questions that you have, please drop them in. Like I said, we just started this podcast, so that may be a question. We just started it. This is the third week, so 3 weeks ago. It started off June 3rd, I believe. And it was inspired by my husband being open and honest and sharing his feelings with me. And I was just like, what do you think about a podcast? And he was like, I think that's dope. I just think a lot of men need that, and they don't know that they can have that. And so I think that's where it came from. It's just stemmed from that. And so yeah, that's where it came from. So I really want men to really, really, this is what I really want y'all to do. Get out of the comfort zone of being so masculine and so stoic and so, oh, I don't know, but just pretending, to where you can just share your feelings. That's what I want for you. And I want you to be able to be comfortable sharing that. So this week, I didn't ask for a guest to come on because, again, I wanted to just like tell you what was going on. And so, you're okay, baby. Tell you what was going on. Okay. Okay, you're fine. And then just to be in a space where you can just come and share that. Yes, I'm at home. The children are here. That will happen. We're not going to edit none of that out. All of it is life. Oh, good segue. So when things happen, don't cover it up. Like, don't pretend like she just walked through the room. Same thing with your feelings. If there's something that you need to discuss that. Don't pretend like it didn't happen. Don't pretend like it didn't hurt. Don't pretend like it doesn't bother you. Like, talk about it. Like, really talk about it. And talking about it is one of those things, like, if you go to therapy, like, therapy is so dope, y'all. Do you understand? Like, therapy is one of the best things that you can have for yourself. Advocate for yourself in the way so that you can receive therapy. A therapist that is an excellent therapist can get you in a space and place that you really want to be, have you opening up, making you feel safe, all those things. So that's what you want in therapy. And it can be male, female, but just being able to go and talk to someone about how you're feeling on the inside. If you feel like you're closed in, if you feel like you're caged in, you feel like you're in prison, you feel like all the things that may happen, And I will say this too. It's very important for you to get those things up and out of you, because if you continue to keep them on the inside, they then turn into like physical problems. If you ever have dealt with something that you didn't deal with on the inner, and you start dealing with like medical problems, headaches, stomach aches, and all those things, that's because you're not getting those emotions out. One thing I will tell you, if your nervous system is shot, and I'll just say that, if your nervous system is jacked up, if your nervous system is a place where you just can't regulate your emotions, that's the reason. You probably heard it before, and I'm saying it again because it's true. Your nervous system is one thing that you need to get under control, so you then can regulate your emotions, so you then can show up in the way that you can. And all these things that you've been keeping to yourself will not affect your life in all the different ways, in all the different areas: intimacy, relationship, sexually, financially, on your job, in your career, whatever, creativity. It affects all of that. It does. And I want you to know. But yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any other questions, or if you have questions that you feel like I did not answer about the podcast, please, oh, please drop them in, because I want you to know that, I want you to know that I see your question. I want to answer those questions. So nothing is off the table for me. I will answer anything for you. And yes, let's just make this a really good topic. Really good podcast, because again, it's for y'all. It's for all the men in my life. It's for the men that I've now been connected to. It's for the men that I don't know are out there that are going to need this. So y'all share the channel, share the live, share those things. And I think I'm going to get off because I don't see anyone asking any questions. And one thing I did not mention, it will be every Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's one thing I know is important. And the other thing is, just when you come on, just be open, just be honest, just be in the place of receiving, be in a place of sharing, be in a place of possibly being triggered, because that can happen too. And then also know that this is not for therapy. This podcast is not for therapy. It's for awareness, for sure. You may receive some education, but it's definitely not therapy. Okay. So if you want to see it as entertainment, okay, fine. But it's for you to understand that this space is for you. It's for you to say those things that you don't want to say. And I think that definitely may be it. I can't see who's on. I see like 4 people on with me. But if you have a question, y'all, let me know in the comments later. Let me know just whenever, because I will come back and I will be looking at this. It's important to share this live. It's important to share this channel, because so many men are going to need this. Okay. So on that note, everybody, Men Cry in the Car podcast is official. This is the 3rd episode. And next week we will have someone, I will have a guest on, because I have them lined up, I think all the way up until July, the end of July. So if you want to come on, it will be probably the end of July or going into August for you. I may have one more at the top of the, I think I may have one more at the beginning of July. But yes, just let me know and we'll go from there. So Men Cry in the Car. We will see you later.